I am sitting here with the Gillian Harwin. Hello, Gillian.
And I'm here with the Karlee Holden.
This is so fun to reconnect with you because I want to share that we are childhood friends. And then we lost touch for quite a few years and reconnected, what, 2 days ago?
Yeah. I came across your birthing video and you've been putting some more stuff out on the interwebs. And I have a friend who is really looking into home birth. And so that video, I was like, well, if my friend who's in her 40s can do it and you're in your 20s, like, here's some inspiration for you. And it
Oh,
turns out that you guys actually live in the same town and you might be like one of her support members to help her have a nice, healthy home birth.
you know what? It's so cool to hear that because actually, after having two babies now at home, I feel like being a doula would be really fun, even though I'm not trained as a doula. But because I went
Well,
through it,
is totally on her way to being a doula. So
she is.
your daughter? Yeah.
Oh, my daughter. Sorry. Yes. I know. She thought after meeting the audio cut out. After meeting with our midwives, Annabelle kept saying, "I want to be a midwife or a doula." Yeah, she was. I had to warn her. I was like, "Okay, are you ready to see me in pain?" And she was like, "Yeah, I want to watch this." And I warned her, and then I said, "How about you film it so you're one step removed, like you have a job to do." And then it turned out so beautiful. Her expression behind the camera is my favorite part, besides the
Oh,
baby coming out.
same. My sister and I, Ashley, we both cried at that part, hearing her like cry for you and like super,
Oh,
super powerful moment. And what
yeah.
an experience for a young human to be able to have and see her mom be that strong. I mean, just everything about it was just it moved me so much, and, like, you being vulnerable, you know,
Oh,
and so, like, putting yourself out there, which is, like it's really magical, and it's something we were talking about before we started recording of just, like, being real with, like, how hard life is sometimes, like, pain is real, and, what we've encountered over the years of confronting old demons or, like, looking at things from our past or looking at things that have happened to us that are reflecting who we are and who we're trying to get to be, and in
mhm.
order to get to those places, you gotta look at, the hard, dark, yucky corners sometimes, and so many of us, it's so easy to not look at those corners. Life is just full of a million distractions so that you never have to look at that stuff. And every generation can just keep going on and, oh, and then it'll be fine. And then, and then I don't, yeah. And then,
Everything's great. Everything's fine. People
right.
don't realize what a big part of trauma that is.
Right, and so it's really hard to look at the hard stuff, and a lot of times you get into situations where you are looking at the hard stuff and it gets dangerous, and we've both been in that situation also. And so dangerous for our hearts, our souls, our bodies, our minds. But again, like we're brought to those hard situations so that hopefully our bodies will react and be like, yo, dude, you gotta help me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not okay. And our body, we also been talking about like how like I definitely since talking to you the other day have just felt like charged and just like we understand so much of each other, and then I read your book in, like, 2 days. Well, I listened
Oh.
to it, which was so cool because I'm, like, hearing your voice, and I'm a singer and a musician, and for me, the frequency and the thumbprint of a voice is, like, in my soul. So, like, hearing you, I'm just hearing what I heard from 30 years ago when we were, like, in high school together, which we were also talking about that era is so impactful in our lives because it's the first time you kind of fall in love with people outside your family. And like you find your first best friends and you like, laugh with each other and get your periods together and or like kiss the boys first together and have
Oh my
sex
gosh. Wait,
together, whatever.
pause. The first time I ever tried to put a tampon in was at your house at 13 in your bathroom. And
Love
you were
that.
all outside the bathroom door trying to help me and I couldn't do it. So the first message that's so powerful of this interview is girls, you do not have to put a tampon in that quickly.
No,
No,
never. And
no.
Hopefully you have supportive friends that are helping you either way.
Yeah.
Watch, Big Mouth.
What's that?
It's like a cartoon on Netflix all about
Okay.
puberty by Nick Kroll and John Mulaney. The second episode is, the girl gets her period in white shorts at the Statue of Liberty in, like, 8th grade. And then she ends up, like, in later seasons, has to go to summer camp and gets, like, the biggest period of her life at summer camp. And one of the episodes is all about putting her first tampon in, dude.
That's so
And it's
funny.
so beautifully done. The tampons are so funny. One of them's a surfer, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Mark. I'm here to ride your crimps and wave." And it's you have to see it, dude. It's the
Okay.
funniest
Okay.
shit ever. Shout out to Big Mouth
All right.
for being
Perfect.
hard talking about hard stuff, you know?
Yes, it is. It's a very vulnerable time, but I didn't want to forget one thing you said because you said so many good things. But looking at the dark stuff with the right support and understanding becomes not dark.
Exactly.
So looking at the dark stuff like you and I both have, well, I don't know if it's looking at the dark stuff, but we tried to heal the dark stuff without the right tools. We both had similar patterns. And then once it sounds like we asked for help and got real and were able to look at the dark stuff in a revelation, revelatory, is that a word? In a way that could reveal to us what the truth of our pain, where it stems from, the root, and that truth, I just made a video about that with awareness and getting to the truth, that the dark doesn't get bigger, it's actually more parasympathetic. It's, I understand now, like I'm not alone.
Other side of the light.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Inside the light, there exists always a spot of darkness. And inside the darkness, there exists always a spot of light. Dude, the yin yang symbol is deep.
And it's perfect because you need those polarities in order to grow. But
And
we're
you
getting,
can't know both of them equally and be able to balance between both of them and appreciate both of them equally without experiencing both of them deeply, you know?
but if people are watching this in a lot of pain and trauma, and there's a lot of people out there that are, how do we inspire people that the dark is okay? Because when it really hurts, like you and I've been in it, it's so hard, right?
It is. And I think, like, honestly, like, support, straight up.
Straight up.
Support from starting with yourself, with just, like, saying, "I can't do this by myself,"
That's
was
huge.
my big thing. Like, I know I can do it, but I can't do it by myself.
That's why you and I reconnected.
And I can't do it with the old ways I was trying to get it or thinking I was getting it.
Yeah.
And, like, and it's continuous. This is never gonna end for me, and I don't want it to, you know? Like, I would way rather write really sad songs about, like, being alone or not knowing if that was the person you were supposed to be with, or, songs about, like, no one can teach what you got. Like, those are all for me to remind me that, like, you gotta constantly work on it. Like, if you want to, then you need to always,
That's what you brought up.
just, like, watch movies and go shopping or just keep busy with work or whatever, and none of that's bad, or none of, but really for people that suffer from being really, really depressed and being in such a dark place that, like, you're sitting there reading the manual for checking out.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not taking action or trying, but you're really thinking about it, and you're talking to people about it, and you're talking to you about it because it just seems easier than being here. Like, that's dark.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of us are afraid to talk about because, like we were also saying, there's all this pressure to, like, be happy and, like, be positive and all this stuff. It's like, there's no positive and negative live together. You
That's a really
can't.
good way to put it.
And, you know,
Well, but you said something good, so I want to keep it simple for people. So awareness, and one thing I want to add, the reason why people don't ask for help, because you and I had the same pattern of denial. Well, I think so. Or I had big denial. Okay, you did too. And then I finally realized, and I think I said this in part of the beginning of my book, is I thought I could do it alone, being raised in such a spiritual family. I had a lot of tools. So it felt really good to finally go, no, I don't have, not only can I not do it alone, I don't have to, and that's not the way it should be. So awareness, first being aware, like you just said, not sitting there reading the manual for checking out, but going, wait, I want more. And awareness is more than half the battle, and asking for the right support. And don't give up. If you don't find it right away, keep looking. And that's why you and I talking yesterday for the first time in so many years felt so good, because we are both two support systems now that have looked at ourselves and want to offer that for others. And I know why I was like, I have to interview you, or you interview me, however it's we're interviewing each other. You said yesterday ritual. And I actually, my family and I just did a Tony Robbins seminar, and I'm listening to Joe Dispenza, and I love all these people. And he even says, Joe Dispenza said when I listened to him yesterday, if this were easy, everyone would be doing it. So changing those patterns, and ritual is so powerful. Getting up every day, thinking a new thought, moving your body different, asking for help, working through it. I mean, that's really what you and I did, right?
Totally. Well, and you've been doing it, I've been doing it through music mostly. I don't know if we talked about that I'm a musician.
Yes, that's I've one thing I wanted to get to was for you to describe yourself, but you did mention that, so I think people are catching on, so we'll definitely.
Yeah, and so, like, as a singer, like, that's been my whole thing is, like, I use my voice to express myself. I write things because I feel like I'm the faucet, not the water. Like,
That
I just
creative
have to be
energy.
open, and as far as, like, I mean, that's healing. Like music has, there's this one s- thing, like a meme or whatever, that's like a big finger flicking somebody, then this pointing at the hand. It's like, this is life. And then there's like a cliff. And then there's like a big hand that's like sitting there. That's like, this is music. So, like, music has always, like, saved my life.
Yeah,
It's given
yeah.
me so much direction, and it's brought me to all these places where I've gotten so much unexpected healing. Like, it led me
Mm.
to Victor Wooten, who runs these incredible music camps in Tennessee, where, like, you're talking about all this music stuff, but it's all about, like, living a life that makes you feel okay, not
Mm.
happy all the time and not super depressed all the time, but just like in balance, like being able to go between the happy and sad and not get stuck in either one too much, because then you lose touch with like reality, and you aren't able to like connect with people, or let alone yourself.
Wouldn't you say with the voice, first of all, you have an amazing voice, but moving past just having a talented voice, I study the nervous system. So nervous system and vocal, people finding their voice, their truth, speaking up for themselves is a huge part of life and healing and getting real. So singing, I don't know enough about it, but always in my head, and I feel like this is what you're saying, the healthier you are, the more your voice is open and that energy can move. Or if you're not healthy and you're
Or the more
singing,
you open your voice, the
you
more
open,
help you get,
you get
because
more what?
to be the more you open your voice, the more healthy you get.
That's
You know,
what I want to
you're
talk about.
meant to vibrate. Watch a baby. You have a baby. The
Yeah,
whole first year, that's all they're doing is singing and vocalizing
it's
and vibrating
beautiful.
their voice.
Yep.
And so we've cornered it into this like, oh, singer. And like, for me growing up, that meant like Mariah Carey and Madonna and like a singer like Whitney Houston and these
Mm,
singers. But some of my most profound experiences have been singing after a ceremony and bringing
mm.
people back together by just picking up a guitar and singing a song, and bringing them in from a really, intense trauma journey that they were on, for whatever, in whatever ceremonial situation. We were drinking ayahuasca this one. So you're really out there, but you use the power of music, brings us together in such an unspoken way, where you don't need even words. I
It's a
could just,
natural release.
yeah, I mean, and even during ceremony, it's such a important part of it. And the camps that I go to, the jams that we have, where we just, nobody talks and everybody just starts listening to each other. And
Hmm.
music is just, I mean, it has everything that you need to heal.
You you
So
said you said a good point that I want to add. It's being present. I mean, being present is healing, and then music is vibration, and the nervous system is all sensations. We're either vibrating, it's fast, it's tight. We don't use emotional words. It's soft. It's, you know, it's a vibration. So when you're tuning into music, what I hear you saying, you're tuning into huge spiritual lessons, which is being present, really seeing each other. And in my acting training, the Meisner technique, it's, you said it's about really listening. That's all being a good artist is, or actor or musician, is listening to someone else, getting out of your own way. And I feel like that's why so many artists want to be artists, because they want healing, but so many of them aren't happy. And maybe some more of these deeper principles, I mean, they're out all over the world, help release that stuck energy in their bodies, you know?
Totally. And I think, that's why people are like I was really drawn to it. I knew when I was a little girl, I'm like, I'm gonna be a singer. Like that's what I want to do. What in whatever capacity, that's my path.
Yeah, we grew up doing talent shows and you were singing like a freaking superstar and we would dance by your side. I mean, this is our history and look at you now.
So, and it's cool because it's so much more than I ever thought it could be, like being famous is just like for a hot second for anybody,
Yep.
you can't stay there forever, but like having longevity with this relationship of music and having it be such a constant tool and source of healing for me through my human journey, which one of the recent songs I wrote is called being human, and it just talks about like being human is the hardest thing I've ever done.
I love that. I was going to say, let's get into you sharing that could inspire others how you've healed. Keep going with what you're saying about being human, but to
Well,
keep it simple, what would you say you've learned? If somebody's watching this and they're desperate for an answer or help, what have you learned about being human, or what's in your song?
I mean, a straight up tool that you can just apply.
Besides getting real and being aware and asking for support, those are good. This is fun. What are you bringing over?
The ukulele. So like it's this thing that we came up with called pie hole journaling. And it's like a little bit like expressive writing or just like getting it out, like whatever. So anybody can do this. You don't even have to do anything. You can just right hand ukulele. Everybody can make a beat. Everyone has a heartbeat. So everybody can just do this. And then for 2 minutes, you just go, I feel really crappy today. I
I feel
wanna get coronavirus vaccine. I wanna play another chord because my voice wants to go there. And so I talk about my feelings because nobody wants to go there. And so I talk about I went to the doctor this afternoon. He put a thing up my nose and then looked inside my throat and said, hey, your vocal cords look like you've been singing a long, long time. And I said, yes, I have, sir. I've been singing a long time. And then you just sing about the shit that's going on in your mind.
it's like journaling, but in a song.
Get it off of your chest and say whatever you want. I hate traffic and bills and coronavirus and everything else and make me crazy, make me want to scream and make me want to shout, and make me want to shut my eyes and dream. Pie hole journaling for you and me. I mean, and whatever, like it's kind of cheesy and that was a little bit silly, but
That
there have
was
been times
beautiful.
that like I've been together with my friends and I'm like, I need a week of we call it too many. And we just do 2 minutes of recorded pie hole journaling and send them back and forth in a Dropbox to each other.
So
And
it's
that
journaling through music, not writing.
that gets you through that week. You know what I mean? Like it's a day to day.
So if
And
people aren't singers, because I'm not, so if I did that, it's not going to sound as beautiful as you, but it's singing your feelings instead of writing. So anyone, even if you can't sing, can do it.
absolutely. I mean, and you don't even have to have an instrument.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think that is a great exercise.
it is, and it's cool to like try to make it musical because it makes you really vulnerable and it gets you into into a different part of your body so that you're a little bit freed with your thoughts and maybe you don't even sing words. Maybe you just start singing whatever. Or maybe you start growling, or maybe you start, hitting your body, or maybe you start crying or whatever. But like, I think that like getting anything that you can do to get out what's in here and what's in here. I mean, that's what like music is such a beautiful way to just get your emotions out of you. Like there's so many ways that we process emotions, and it's hard to find them all the time. And even if your toolbox is full and you've read all the books and done all the work and seen all the shrinks and done all the ayahuasca and whatever, um, you still sometimes can't find your toolbox, And
Totally.
even like you were saying, like we've grown up with these beautiful supportive families, yet how did we end up in these situations in our lives that we're just like, whoa, dude, like
Well, because
how does that happen?
well, we
Um,
learned, right, that our no family's perfect.
and you also learn that like you got to keep supplying your toolbox, and sometimes your tools aren't going to work after a while, and you can throw
Yeah.
them out because you're going to
Mhm.
make space for new ones.
Yeah. Well, for
And
fun, if you were to coach someone on the singing, do you wanna try coaching me right now? Should I try it? Even though I can't sing and I don't know anything about music, so people can try at home?
I mean, sure. Do you have like you have any instruments around?
Like a drum, maybe?
Yeah.
Could I
And
just use the desk?
everybody should have lots of instruments in their house. Just laying about is wonderful. Because let me just go into one more little
Yeah.
thing that I wanted to say. Everything in the universe is vibrating.
Yeah.
That's all we are. We're just
Yeah.
frequency. And we inhabit this flesh bag for, 100 years, give or take, if you're lucky or unlucky. Hopefully it's healthy that whole time. But every single thing that's happened and is happening and will happen in the universe is some kind of vibration, down to our little tiny cells, out to the farthest parts of the galaxy that we know about.
Absolutely.
So when you're singing or you're playing music or you strum a ukulele, you're creating vibrations, which
Mm,
means that you're connecting in the moment exactly with the whole system that's happening. So, in the midst of all the craziness of life that comes your way, you can at least, when you're playing music, be connecting with like what everything is doing
yeah,
in
that's
a real tangible, beautiful way, which is why I think it's sad that not everybody is a musician to me. We're all born musicians. We just have in our heads that like unless you can play like super shredding licks and you can't call yourself a musician.
right.
But watch a kid play air guitar. Do they ever play a wrong note?
No.
No, they're just like
Yeah. I
and they're
like
having
this.
their lives. And we have soul separation. We
Yeah.
we lose that. And I think that that's really where most trauma comes from, is that first phase of life where you like don't, it's just a blur. Like who remember, it's so hard to remember all that stuff in our memories, but our bodies remember everything that happens to us from the minute you're conceived
Yeah.
to the, like 5 years old, like
Wait,
everything.
hold on real quick. We have a guitar in the garage. Is it okay if it's not tuned?
Yeah, sure. We'll just pluck
Hey,
one.
hey, Jason, Annabelle, can you bring me a guitar from the garage?
I get the guitar. The guitar should be laying on that big couch.
Okay, well, we're going to get one right now because I think we should try this exercise because I am the furthest from a musician or a singer. And you're opening my mind to a new tool because you and I are saying the same language. I've been, a trauma practitioner working with vibrations in the nervous system and completing, you read in my book, fight or flight, and feeling these sensations. And always in the back of my mind, I've wanted to do voice lessons, not to be a singer, but to release and to open. So I think this is a really fun interview to do to give people another tool at home. And I feel super nervous right now trying your exercise. So I feel like if I can do it,
I was nervous doing my too many on in front of you.
well,
So
I don't think anyone could notice. And your voice is so beautiful. So we have to get over that.
like I'm not trying to like, it's not I don't want that to be it. I just
I
want
know.
it like your voice is beautiful too. I just like it's like
Yeah.
Will Ferrell said, you just move it up and down a little bit more,
There you go.
It's
Perfect.
not that deep, but it's the deepest thing that there is. And when you
So true.
you're like you feel connected with like the universe purpose, which
Yep.
is supposed to vibrate here for a while, you know?
Absolutely. It's okay. Gillian said it's fine if it's not tuned. So should we try this?
Yeah. Hi.
I just want to say, hi, honey. How was your second day of school? So I just want to say I haven't touched or played a guitar. I don't know if ever in my life, or maybe once with
That's
you
okay. You
along.
can just lay that case all the way on the floor
Okay.
so you don't have to like hold it up. Yeah. And then open all those little clippies and then she'll just come right out of there. Yeah.
Hi. This is Jason and Tucker. We're doing actually a voice lesson for healing.
Well, we're just kind of making some vibrations. Hi, Tucker. All right. So, Karlee, can we just like right hand, can you just strum down on those strings and let's
Yep.
see what it sounds like? Oh, it's kind of cutting out because Zoom is weird. Yeah, put it closer to put the guitar or put the mic down. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're just gonna do that. That's beautiful. It's actually not so out of tune.
I'm
Um,
nervous. I feel
okay,
super nervous.
time you for 2 minutes.
Oh, God. I mean, this is how people feel before they go into therapy.
Sorry, I don't mean to put you in a bad spot.
No, it's okay. I mean, this is what we're here for. So
Okay,
I'm
and you're
just,
gonna say just like pie hole journal, just tell me what's on your mind. Don't think about it. Don't think about judging it. If it's singing, if it's talking, we don't care. If you say the same word for 2 minutes, we don't care.
okay. And then you'll put
Okay.
up your hand when to stop.
I'll do this when it's time.
Really quick. Hold on. Okay.
All right. So we're doing pie hole journaling here. Too many. I'll tell you when the time is up. You're just gonna strum. It doesn't need to be rhythm. There doesn't be anything about it. You're just saying what you feel with your instrument in your lap.
And what I feel, meaning anything I've been feeling, good, bad, whatever.
Anything, just whatever. Like I
Okay.
changed a diaper today, like whatever. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. I
Okay.
feel like crap. I'm gonna cry. Like I'm
Okay.
happy. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever.
And I played
Okay,
this
here we
the
go.
whole time.
Whatever you want. Whatever comes out. Just, have the guitar be a part of it. Okay, here we go. And go.
Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I'm sad. Fuck it. Sometimes I'm really mad. I feel uncomfortable even trying to do this exercise. But you can't judge it, just do it. Just be. Let me be a little more vulnerable. I've been a working mom. There's a lot that comes with that. Okay, I know what I want to say. I have needed help and support with the baby and trying to work and be a mom to an 11-year-old and a 5-month-old and take care of a house. And some days I want to cry. But it's getting better when I ask for support and my mom shows up or somebody else. I feel like I want to write a poem. Oh boy, is 2 minutes up? I love talking to you and reconnecting after all these years and talking about our fears and our hurts and our growth and how happy we are now. Help me. I'm getting uncomfortable.
You're doing so great. This is when the good stuff starts. Sing some notes.
I'd love to know how, but I just feel like a cow. I love you. Thanks for coming back in my life. I can't wait to see Sarah Sasso in Costa Rica.
And we're all gonna sing together. We're gonna say, Kura, kura, sana, sana. 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 Kura, kura, sana, sana.
That was not easy. I feel super tight in my solar plexus and uncomfortable.
You did so good, especially, like, you don't play an instrument, like, so many beautiful things just happen there.
And I wanna
So
cry.
that's yeah, good. Like, it's so powerful, dude. Music is your it's the cradle of everything that you need to heal. It takes you to all of those places like that, you know? Um, and it's very meditative. Like, I really recommend, like, if you don't feel good, everybody,
Yeah.
study music.
Yeah.
At least listen to it, but
Yeah.
studying it, you get to have a personal relationship with it. You now that guitar's you've had a relationship with that instrument now.
Well, and it's stimulating, like the solar plexus are your central nervous system. So pushing ourselves to feel any patterning or programming that's different than our comfort zone. I feel like crying not in a bad way, but in a different way. Everything, like I said, I've been listening to Joe Dispenza, and many people are saying this. These teachings are thousands of years old. Our patterns get so deep rooted in our brains and bodies. And in order to change them, we have to do things different. And that's why I pushed myself and was trying to do this. I mean, I've done music exercises in acting class and it's super uncomfortable, but this was like that. And now I actually feel really good. I mean, I'm still a little bit tight. I'm charged. I feel like I want to explore new pathways and I am. And that's all about
Like,
healing.
at a couple of points, you, like, opened up your voice and you really, like, went for some stuff that was new and different, and that's the thing is, like, as a voice teacher, I tell my students, I want you to leave studying with me
Yeah,
having figured out what your voice is capable of doing. If
that's
you wanna
beautiful.
sing like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah," then we're gonna figure out how to do it. If you wanna be like, "Hi, my name is Kermit the Frog," then we're gonna figure out how to do it.
I
You're
love
gonna
that.
figure out every color that your voice is capable of making, and every single one of those colors is a tool for you to express yourself.
We should offer people sessions as a duo because working with me and you would be so powerful. People getting into their voice. That's maybe we offer some discount or something
I would love that.
like
I just
a double.
that's what I want. Like, I want everybody to know how
Yeah.
dynamic your voice is and how powerful it is for you, for your body. I mean, like, the medical studies that exist about what singing actually physiologically does to you.
Yeah.
Like, it lowers your blood pressure and it loosens mucus. Like, it does all these, like, really tangible, immediate things that are so good for you.
Well, and so many people's voices are shut down from trauma and manipulation and lack of boundaries. And people don't even know that they could have a voice. So I think once you start opening it up, that's like you said, you move yourself into healing, or vice versa. You start healing and realize my voice. So many of my clients, their voice, they go, my throat is tight. And
Mhm,
that's
and
when I,
I've had those moments in my life where I'm just like,
well, and
"Is,"
it's,
and then, I've had them in my heart, and I've had them in my stomach. I have recently had it in my sciatic nerve in my lower back, like,
and doesn't
your
it all go back to emotions?
yep, and it's all about, like, how do I release this? Well, by using it,
Yep.
like, let me help you. Like, it's scary, and I will hold your hand. Like, it's all I want people to
Yes.
do is feel confident to use their voice, singing, speaking, crying, yelling, expressing, like,
Saying what
whatever
they need
you
to
do
say.
with your voice. Like, let's get you there, you know?
Totally. Coming. So we were saying, well, here, there's something I want to get into a little bit more, and this could be a different talk. Like we don't have to cover too much in one interview, but you and I touched a lot on family patterns yesterday and how to heal those. And it's not about blame or judgment of our families, but you and I both agreed we grew up and the generations before, and I've even talked to my parents about this and their parents, there's so much denial. People don't want to look at it because it's painful. So then our parents
And
learn
and
that.
I always felt guilty, like, why I can't feel bad because I had this great childhood and my parents, like, bent over backwards to, protect me and provide for me, and they brought me into this world very intentionally, and I had a family of my sisters, and we like, everything on in a picture looks wonderful, but that doesn't erase that bad shit has happened to my parents
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
their parents and to their parents. And there was a study done that proves that 7 generations, you can carry 7 generations worth of trauma or
Yep.
like, so like if each person lived to be 50 years old, we're going back 350 years of trauma that each one of us carries in our DNA.
Oh, I love that. I just want to say, I love that you're saying this. The fear response both my mom and I've had to deal with, we know goes way back to, because my mom's side of the family were Russian Jews, immigrants, and the fear that came from, anyways, not to go too into that, or just the clients I've had, when we understand that, it just takes the load off, and it shows that our parents don't have to be perfect, and they had some denial which affected us, because you and I as kids feel that, and then you and I get real, and maybe people in our family or families, we don't even talk about ours, don't want to be real, but this generation is getting more real, wouldn't you say? And there's a
Well,
lot of healing
I think
happening.
there's so many more tools, and there's like since the 60s really,
Yeah.
has been like the awakening and after the whole psychedelic revolution and people started to like question things a little bit more and we got out of a post, war era where everybody was just so happy to like have food and not be like persecuted by Hitler that,
And do you remember how my parents were super into meditation and all that spiritual stuff when we were kids? So
totally.
those tools helped them so much. They had some pretty messed up stuff, so they were able to change as much as they could. And then it's like you and I now take it to, another level, and it's great. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, and I mean, I was, my parents weren't necessarily into that, but my mom was like raised us super close to nature and we always went on like nature adventures and we were always encouraged to travel internationally to understand that, our world is very big and diverse and amazing and not everybody looks like you and thinks like you. So get out there and talk to some people so that you have different perspectives so that you can understand people better and understand yourself better and where you wanna, like, fit in the world, you know?
And
Um,
I
so
think the main thing I want to just add for our listeners that are going through trauma or pain, we're both talking about our families, and there's so much positivity, and it's okay to say there's also dysfunction that you and I became aware of.
oh my god. Yeah, and so, like, again, it's like looking at, "Okay, yeah, that's all great," but that was, like, a really hard part of me healing was feeling like I couldn't shit talk my childhood because it looked so perfect. But it had, dude, I was fighting to get noticed my whole entire youth. I was always like sitting in the back of the car. My sisters, not in a like, they didn't do it. They weren't trying to be mean, or they were, but they were just
You,
kids. And,
you and
you
I are
know,
both the youngest of three.
I just got picked on and I was super, super sensitive. And, like I had like I burned my foot at the beach when I was like 3 and like I screamed so hard that I passed out. Like that there's that trauma is in my body
Mhm.
somewhere. And that isn't anyone's fault. It's just regular life stuff, but it still causes, trauma is a big spectrum.
Yep.
There's like really, really dark, super the most painful trauma, rape, abuse, getting beaten, being homeless, being hungry, like the really like death in front of you,
Yep.
losing your parents, the car accidents. Like there's some really like hard, hard trauma, but that doesn't take away the fact that I burned my foot and was in a lot of pain and didn't understand it, or I feel like I didn't get heard or that I got fucked over by friends in high school or whatever things that have happened to me in my youth that affected how I then went and lived or have been living my adult life, which
Yeah.
a lot of is really sad.
Yeah.
Like I've been in some really dark moments and it's because I've been looking for love everywhere except in
For
the
the wrong
places that
place.
are gonna actually give it to not everywhere, I've found it in some places, but I've gone through these experiences that have brought me trauma where I was looking for love in places that were clearly not giving it to me, but it was something that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to learn that lesson or because I needed whatever it was giving at that time or I mean, it's
Look
all very
looking
complicated, but
looking
yeah,
for love in all the wrong places.
exactly.
However, Peter Levine, who I studied with, I don't know if you know this quote, I put it on the top of my book. Trauma is not the event, it's how you respond. So
Exactly.
burning your foot as a little girl, neglect, rape, and it doesn't matter. It's all a spectrum and it's all real. It's all painful. So that's really important.
And that, it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
Everybody,
Exactly.
anybody, no matter if you're, Kim Kardashian and you get robbed in a robe thinking you're going to get raped. Like, that's my heart, like, broke for her. And, like, whatever, like, I don't know her and probably will never meet her, anything, but, like, just imagining that situation, and she's like got it all or whatever, like, can
Right.
have whatever she wants or whatever, and even she goes through hard shits, and
Well,
you can, it goes to, like, starving kids in Africa to kids at the border in Mexico. Like, it's so far and wide the amounts of trauma that everybody is experiencing, but it all of it is valid and all of it can be
yeah.
helped,
Well,
you
it's
know
not the external. You're saying a good point. Has nothing to do with the external. It's all people's internal. Am I understood? Am I supported? Am I loved? And then a topic that I want to expand on more, which I'll do with this channel, is spirituality, which we'll get to. Because when you start doing this healing or awareness and you just wake up that you are part of a collective consciousness, a whole that is so beautiful and powerful, and these bodies and egos are just a playground, that's when we really start to transform. And so what we're saying is it doesn't matter who you are, rich or famous, poor or wealthy, all of our happiness is dependent on our inner self-love and strength and awareness. And that's why you and I are connecting.
all get together and, like, jam music together and just sing and improvise and let it out. I
Let's
mean,
do that.
it's
Want to do that on like a Facebook live or Instagram live and just
totally, it's a game changer. Jamming with your friends is, like, the best medicine there is. So,
this is new to
go
me
out
and I
and learn some musical instruments. I teach private lessons.
I love this. I feel uncomfortable, but I want to share that I want to try this and do more so other people are inspired to work on themselves, whether or not it's a therapist or a trauma practitioner or coach or a singing lesson or the exercise you gave, and get out of your groove, get out of those old patterns and states and try something new. And I think that's the main thing you and I are both saying today. And it's just so fun to talk to you and reconnect and share this with the world. So
So,
let's definitely do more.
for sure, you've done really good stuff, and everybody go read Carly's book. It's so beautifully written and so vulnerable and so brave, and I'm just really glad that you, like, fought your demons and, like, came
Thank
out the
you.
other side, and, like, I mean, you've already helped people. Like, I just feel like
Thank
that
you.
too. If I can just help one person,
That's all that matters.
it really is. Like, I'm just so over the, like, there's 8 billion people. Like, forget it. Like, if I can help you or
Yeah.
Sarah or, like, the guy down the street or the woman who fell or whatever, like, that's my jam, and we're here for each other. There's enough of us all here that we can help each other, you know?
You said such a good point. I've had a few people in my life, my husband being one of them, and another friend from a long time ago, who have said to me, how do you do it? How do you connect with others you don't know? And I said, let's do an exercise. Every time you go to the grocery store or you're in a line and you're checking out, look at that person as a soul that has been through just the same as you and smile. So the meaner someone is to me, or the harder they are, or the less friendly, I just smile back, realize, wow, they're really hurting today, and they eventually get more neutral. Like if you come at somebody with love instead of reacting with anger. And why did I just say that? Because you made me think some of my most favorite moments are when I'm standing in line somewhere waiting, if it's a coffee place or sandwich shop or the grocery store, and I just start talking to someone and they needed to hear something, and they're like, wow, I really needed to hear that. And I was like, oh, I love talking to you, this is great. Like, that's present moment living. And so when you said 8 billion people on the planet, all we have to do is touch one person's life and then they can touch one. And, it's really fun putting both books out there, because one, the other one, Can You Please Talk to My Girlfriend, I wrote way before Can You Please Talk to My Trauma. And the I never was attached to how many people they would reach, just as long as they reach the people that need it. And it's not about selling books. It's whoever needs help. That's why this is for them. And just like with your singing and music, it's the souls that want it. And so we're here for them. And I think we should do anybody interested, just email us or leave a comment, and we'll set up a session and give them a discount to try it with both of us. That'd be
I'm
really fun.
share everything that I have collected with whoever wants it. You
Perfect.
know, like it's so cool what music is and what it can teach us about all of this stuff. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of other tools out there too, but I would just say that, that's been my vehicle of like getting through life is using music as a tool and realizing how broad that spectrum is. It's not just like going and being on a stage and making records or whatever. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
just vibrating with each
Well,
other.
well, and before we even had this interview yesterday, I told you I want to do some lessons with you, and I didn't even know why I was saying it, and it makes me uncomfortable. So that is good. You want to face the uncomfortable and do things different. So let's do that, and I'm going to do lessons with you. So perfect. And I'm
And
so
your daughter
happy.
too.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so happy to talk to you, and I love you, and I think you're incredible, and I hope all the people we know growing up watch this video and be like, yeah.
Yeah, fucking Wonder Woman out here. Warrior
Yeah. Okay, I love you. We'll sign off for now,
five.
okay?
What's that?
Is this a good spot to sign off for now? Is there anything else you want to
Yes,
say?
and I just wanna say I love you too, and again, like, thank you for sharing your birth and your book, and you really are like a warrior goddess, and, I really appreciate you and love you so much.
Oh, thank you. How about we do another interview? You interview me.
I would love that,
Okay, that's going to be our next one. Okay,
especially because 'cause I've read your book, like, oh, yeah, dude, we'll get into some good
okay.
s
Perfect. We're just beginning.
totally.
Okay.